friends, welcome to the Point. So let's continue our discussion on India-Israel relations. So in this session, we'll be discussing about the diplomatic visits between India and Israel. So in the year 1997, Ezer Weizmann, he became the first Israeli president to visit India in the year 1997. So then in the year 2000, L.K. Advani, he became the first Indian minister to visit the state of Israel. Later that year, Jaswant Singh, he became the first Indian foreign minister to visit Israel. Following the visit, the two countries set up a joint anti-terror commission. The foreign ministers of the two countries said intensified cooperation would range from counter-terrorism to information technology. So in the year 2003, Ariel Sharon, he was the first Israeli Prime Minister to visit India. He was welcomed by the Bharatiya Janata Party, which led the National Democratic Alliance coalition government of India. Several newspapers expressed positive views on his visit, and the Indian Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he voiced confidence that Sharon's visit would pave the way for further consolidating bilateral ties. Sharon's visit was condemned in the leftist and Muslim circles. Hundreds of supporters of India's various pro-Islamic and communist parties rallied in New Delhi. Nearly 100 Muslims were arrested, and students of Aligarh Muslim University demanded that India sever ties with Israel and increase ties with Palestine. So the Hindi language daily Navbharat Times called Sharon an important friend to India. The Hindu nationalist Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, which is called as RSS party, condemned the protest against Sharon, and Sharon expressed satisfaction over his talks with the Indian leaders, and Indian Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee said that the visit would increase ties between India and Israel, and Sharon invited Vajpayee to visit Israel, and Sharon said that Israelis regard India to be one of the most important countries in the world, and Vajpayee was sure that Sharon's visit would bring the two countries closer together. In earlier 2006, Indian government minister Sharad Pawar, Kapil Sibal and Kamal Nath visited Israel, and Gujarat Chief Minister Narendra Modi visited Israel in October 2006. So in 2012, despite India's unwavering support for the Palestine cause, Foreign Minister S.M. Krishna made a 2-day visit to Israel in 2012. The Israeli Prime Minister deemed this visit by Krishna a historical step forward in developing the relations between the two nations. So in May 2015, after victory of Narendra Modi in 2014 general election, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, he personally congratulated Modi, and Modi in turn met his Israeli counterpart Benjamin Netanyahu in New York City on the sideline of United Nations General Assembly during his US visit in 2014. So this was the first meeting between the Prime Minister of the two countries in over a decade on the occasion of the Hanukkah festival. The occasion was Hanukkah festival, and Indian Prime Minister Modi greeted his Israeli counterpart in Hebrew on Twitter, while the Israeli Prime Minister replied in Hindi. So after that, Indian Home Minister Rajnath Singh visited Israel in November 2014 to observe the country's border security arrangements. During his tour, he also met Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. So breaking from convention, Singh was the first Indian Prime Minister to visit Israel without also visiting Palestine on the same trip. In the same year, former Israeli President Shimon Peres, he visited India. A high-level Israeli delegation with Agricultural Minister of Israel Yair Shamir also participated in vibrant Gujarat Summit in 2015. So December 2014, a news article was published in The Hindu which stated that India may end support to Palestine at United Nations. So In the year 2015, in the month of February, Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Elan, he came to India. During his visit, he participated in Aero India. In 2015, he also met his Indian counterpart as well as the Indian Prime Minister. And Pranab Mukherjee became the first President of India to visit Israel from October 13th to 15th, 2015. So Mukherjee was given the rare honor of addressing the Knesset. So in the year 2016, Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj visited Israel in January 2016. During the visit, she visited the Yad Vashem Holocaust Memorial in Jerusalem and met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, President Reuven Rivlin, members of the cabinet and the Indian Jewish communities in Israel. And in September 2016, Indian Minister of Agriculture called Radha Mohan Singh visited Israel to bolster India-Israel agricultural ties. He met his Israeli counterpart called Uri Ariel. So where the discussion concerned about collaborative opportunities in agriculture between both the countries. Israeli President called Rivlin, Reuven Rivlin, visited India for a week-long state visit in November 2016, becoming the second Israeli president to visit the country. Rivlin visited New Delhi, Agra, Karnal, Chandigarh and Mumbai. He spent the last day of his visit in Mumbai paying homage to victims of 2008 Mumbai attacks and meeting with the Indian Jewish community. Israel currently regards Iran as a major threat to its national security, and Rivlin expressed this concern in meeting with Prime Minister Modi. So following his visit, Rivlin told Israel media that despite growing economic ties with both countries, the Indian government has assured him that India would support Israel despite the former's relation with Iran. So Rivlin told the Jerusalem Post, "They assure us that when the time will come, they will never ever let anyone act against the existence of Israel." So this was the statement given by Rivlin in the Jerusalem Post. So talking about the official visits. So in July 2017, Narendra Modi became the first ever Indian Prime Minister to visit Israel. So it was noted that Prime Minister Modi did not visit Palestine during the trip, breaking from convention. So with the sole exception of Union Minister Rajnath Singh, previous trips by Indian ministers and President Mukherjee included visits to both Israel and Palestine. So the Indian media described the move as the dehyphenation of India's relation with the two states. As a personal gesture, Israel named a new type of chrysanthemum flower after Modi. So the media houses of both countries had termed the visit to be historic. So where India had finally brought its relation with Israel out of the closest. So during the visit, India and Israel signed 7 memorandum of understandings. Those memorandum of understanding were for setting up India-Israel Industrial Research and Development Innovation Fund, which it is called as I4F, and memorandum of understanding for water conservation in India. And thirdly, the memorandum of understanding was for state water utility reform in India. And fourth, Indian-Israel Development Cooperation, that is 3-year work program in agriculture. And fifthly, there was a plan of cooperation regarding atomic clocks. And sixthly, the memorandum of understanding was for the cooperation in Geo-LEO optical link. And the final memorandum of understanding was regarding cooperation in electric propulsion for small satellites. So India and Israel, they also signed an agreement upgrading their bilateral relationship to a strategic partnership. So during the trip, Prime Minister Modi also addressed the Indian diaspora in Israel in a highly televised event in Tel Aviv. So in illustrating an Indian welcome to the Indian diaspora from its homeland, he announced overseas citizenship of India cards for Jews of Indian origin who had completed their compulsory military service in the Israel Defense Force, and also pledged the construction of a major Indian culture center in Tel Aviv. So Modi also visited the northern Israel city of Haifa, just called as Haifa, where he paid homage to Indian soldiers of the Indian army who had fallen to save Jewish land in the Battle of Haifa, and unveiled a special plaque commemorating the steadfast military leadership of Major Dalpat Singh, who liberated the ancient city from the powerful Ottoman Empire. So in January 2018, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, he visited India. So in January, to commemorate 25 years of Indian-Israel relations, a highly televised visit of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to India took place, and during which both Netanyahu and Indian Prime Minister Modi have exchanged mutual applauses. So this visit was the first since the 2003 visit of Ariel Sharon to India. Netanyahu, accompanied by a 130-member delegation, the largest that has ever accomplished a visiting Israeli premier, wants to increase exports to India by 25% over the 3 years, and Israel is to invest about $68.6 million in areas such as tourism, technology, agriculture, and innovation over a period of 4 years, a senior Israel official has said ahead of the visit. So, during the visit, an official commemoration ceremony took place that honored the Indian soldiers who perished in the Battle of Haifa during the World War I that took place, where Teen Murti Chowk, representing the Hyderabad, Jodhpur, and Mysore Lancers, was renamed as a Teen Murti Haifa Chowk after the Israeli port city of Haifa. So, during the official visit by Israeli Prime Minister, the two countries signed 9 memorandum of understanding in the field of cyber security, oil, gas production, air transport, homeopathic medicine, film industry, film production, space technology, and innovation. He also met with the heads of Bollywood movie industry. Netanyahu Indian visit also included effort to revive Rafale missiles for Delhi. So Netanyahu was also the guest of honor and delivered the inaugural address in India's annual strategic and diplomatic conference, Raisinia Dialogue. So it is a multilateral conference which is held annually in New Delhi in India. So in this dialogue, where he highlighted various aspects of Israel's success story as a high-tech and innovation-based economy, and he also spoke about the challenges plaguing the Middle East, while expressing hope and optimism for the future of his country's relation with India. So notable leaders who attended his conference included Narendra Modi, Sushma Swaraj, former Afghan President Hamid Karzai, Indian Minister of State M.J. Akbar, and Indian National Congress leader Shashi Tharoor. Netanyahu's son Yair Netanyahu was supposed to accompany the Israeli premier on the Indian state visit, but only a week prior to the visit of a scandalous recording about Yair's private visit to a strip club with his friends was disclosed on Israeli television news main broadcast. So this is about the official visits and diplomatic visits of both the countries, and in the next session let's see the military and strategic ties between India and Israel. Thank you.